Hi there, hope you had a nice weekend, and welcome to an Insomnia Insight episode that I have been really excited to share with you for the last 2 weeks or so. It's been a while since I had I can't wait to share this one because I think it'll be really helpful. But at the same, at the same time, the title of this video is what it is because I'm going to make a claim that initially can sound like insensitive. It can sound like, how can you even say something like that, Daniel? But that's why I want to start by saying that I hope that it's very clear to you that everything I do here, all the videos I produce here, are in the hope that they will be really helpful. If you watch this, if you just completely new here and you just watch this very video, and after this you were like, I get it, I understand everything, I don't need anything further, that would be wonderful. I mean, that's my hope. So I just want to start with that. I hope that's very clear. So with that said, we're gonna this video is gonna be in three episodes, like three parts, if you will. We're gonna look at the claim. We're gonna look at the explanation of the claim, and then we can see how this can bring so much relief. And so, without further ado, let's look at the claim. And this really started with a tweet from about 2 weeks ago that I thought turned out really nice, and I wanted to expand on it. So I'm going to read it to you as if, imagine this was as a tweet here. Imagine this. So I wrote the following a couple of weeks ago. When we are frazzled and our heart beats hard, this does not mean we have a heart condition. When we're scared and our breathing is fast, this does not mean we have a lung disease. When we are anxious and we're awake at night, this does not mean that we have a sleep disorder. In other words, and this is that's where the tweet ended. So, here I have the luxury of expanding on these ideas, which is so nice. But anyway, that's where that tweet ended. But now we have the luxury of going further. So what I want to say here is, of course, that if our brain thinks that we are in some type of danger, then increased oxygen delivery to our tissues with heart beating hard, fast breathing, that's helpful to us. It kind of prepares us for fight or flight. Same thing, in terms of vigilance. When the brain thinks we're in danger, increased vigilance, alertness, awareness, that is part of fight or flight. It's something that is very helpful to us. So here's the thing: not only does the above in the above scenarios do we not have a heart, lung, sleep system disorder, but the palpitations, the breathing fast, the wakefulness, they're actually evidence that our heart, lungs, and our sleep system is working exactly as designed. Exactly what is meant to happen is happening. In other words, so here's kind of the compressed version of the claim is this: insomnia, defined here as being awake at night when we're anxious. Insomnia is evidence that our sleep system is healthy and working as designed. And this is the part that can sound so impossible, so paradoxical, so contradictory. But in reality, when we find ourselves awake at night because we're scared and anxious, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with our sleep system. Quite the opposite. It means that it is healthy, robust, doing exactly what it is designed to do. All right. So that was a claim. Now, when you hear this, I can imagine so many people, tuning in right now having kind of different reactions. But one of them can be this one: how can you say something like that? I'm really, really struggling here. How can you make the claim that my sleep system is intact and healthy while I'm hardly sleeping? And this is the part that this can, of course, be really, really sensitive. And I hope it's clear that my intent with all I do is to help. And that leads us to the second part, which is the explanation. So how can we explain this? How can we understand this kind of on a deeper level? Well, if you go back to our tweet, we can sort of create in our minds another tweet that is the explanation. And it will be the following: if our brain thinks that palpitations mean that we have a heart condition, this can make us frazzled and create more palpitations. If our brain thinks that breathing fast means that we have a lung disease, this can make us scared and create more fast breathing. If our brain thinks that being awake means we have a sleep system disorder, this can make us anxious and create more wakefulness. In other words, our brain's kind of interpretation of what happens can determine if this becomes, something fleeting, or it can become an ongoing loop, palpitations can create fear of palpitations and more palpitations and more fear of palpitations, etc., etc. That can become its own loop. Same thing with the lungs and breathing fast, and same thing with wakefulness and vigilance. Okay. So in other words, another way to say this is that, again, in the above scenario, the heart, lungs, and sleep system is working exactly as designed, but there is this misunderstanding in the brain's safety center. The brain's safety center has misunderstood and has thought that, for example, palpitations, breathing fast, or being awake at night means something is wrong, and that can now create this ongoing struggle. So I hope everything is very, very clear now. And with that said, we'll go to our, the third part, which is the relief. And really, all I want to say here is this: that when we understand this, and you may want to watch this a few times and like ponder it, but when this makes sense, when we understand that indeed we are whole, there's nothing wrong with us, we don't have a disorder, we are healthy, we're just part of a sort of easily rattled human tribe. Like all of us are like easily rattled, I think. At least I know I am, and I think many of us are. But when we understand that this is nothing strange or unusual, we're still part of that, like the human tribe, just doing normal human things. There's nothing wrong with us. Then things calm down. Then we find what we have been wanting, the whole time, what we all want, which is peace of mind and peaceful sleep. All come thanks to education, thanks to understanding and clarity. So yeah. With that said, that was really all for this insight. I hope it brought a lot of clarity to you and a lot of insight. But yeah, as always, let me know in the comment section what you thought about this episode. And as always, if you are finding your way to where you want to be, peaceful sleep and peace of mind, thanks to the free content here, that is wonderful. On the flip side, if things are tricky, you're not really seeing how the piece of the puzzle fit in, you're feeling maybe that people around you don't understand, you're not really feeling like yourself, check out our options. Go to our website. And if you decide to join any of our programs, then we look forward to seeing you on the other side. So yeah, with that said, again, thanks for being here. Look forward to having you back here real soon. Until then, bye-bye.